And here we are. Yes, here we are. Great. So, hello everybody. I will be your host for the night. I'm Hans, joined by the one and only, should I point in that direction, Jenna, aka Giraffe Road. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Uh, normally, I do, but I think everybody pretty much knows me by now. And I'll keep it short and snappy, but basically, hello, my name is Giraffe Arcade Jenna, as Hans has stated, but I am along with Hans for the ride tonight. We are going to be doing the Open CL qualifiers. I am pretty excited. How about you?
Oh, I absolutely am. They are. We will be casting tonight Psychopaths Gaming, a team that we have been casting in the previous week, and the people seem to more or less like them. And by saying more or less, I'm pretty much understating at this point. So I really do hope to see great performances coming from them. Their opponent will be Nutty Potatoes, a team that I have not yet heard of before. They appear to have not yet played in the Challenger League's Open qualifiers when looking at their history here. They do have played in a few Go 4s, but for the Challenger League Open qualifiers, they will be a new team, which I personally am eager to get to know better.
Nutty potatoes.
Potatoes.
Potatoes? That's what they. I
Oh,
think that's what the
potates.
ESL. I
Potate.
don't
Yeah,
know.
potates.
Either
Sorry, I
way,
was I was
either way,
hallucinating in his ear. Yeah,
it's
no.
a team name. Um, it's an interesting one at that, but uh, yeah, I'm excited to be casting this game too, especially because this is like you said, this is going to be our second game that we casted from them, and I'm not quite sure. I think they won their first game. We went on to somebody else after they won their game, so I'm not
Yes.
sure how they went this round after that, but I mean, hopefully they won, obviously, but yeah, I really would like to see their performance tonight.
I believe they did lose. However, they eventually psychopaths lost all their games, and thus were kicked out of the last week's tournaments. And we will be playing Clubhouse here, so I do hope to get the players friend requests shortly, so we can get this game underway. So you being the better analyst out of us two, do you want to talk a bit about Clubhouse? What kind of map, what kind of meta, gameplay, bans, and all of that fun stuff we can expect coming from those teams and that map?
Well, to put it in short, Clubhouse is a map all about hard breaching efforts and really playing with your team pretty closely. It's been around for a while. Of course, it grabbed up the rework, but it's still, of course, it's one of those beta game maps that everybody knows, everybody loves, everybody has experience with. So it's a map that it really needs it's been reworked with the meta in terms of teams being able to attack and teams being able to defend. Of course, the meta changes very often with that map. It's a very dynamic map in terms of that, especially after the rework. I'm going to talk about the rework, but of course, being able to take out and modify the strip, uh, the strip area, strip club, and as well as the pool table area, and then a little bit of the top floor, bottom floor, that whole situation. If you guys did not actually see what happened in the rework, but other than that, I'd have to say, yeah, this map is going to be a lot about hard breaching efforts and a lot about it speaks volumes in terms of what a team could get done, especially on roaming and their efforts to do that because Clubhouse is again it's a smaller map, so it doesn't really have a lot of surface area that teams can work with roaming. So I
How are
am
you doing today, sir?
quite excited to see how that's gonna work out. But yeah, I'm not gonna make too much of an effort because I've talked about it at length before, and I am a little bit out of it right now. But yeah, so that's just
I'm doing
short
great.
and simple.
So there we go. The teams are slowly but surely joining in. So apparently Nutty Patat, I have once again added an O that they, oh, Patats, plural, that they do not have in their names. Let me just fix this in the overlay. They'll be picking blue team, so I guess that means they'll be attacking first. Let's just update the in-game overlay, so that will also invert the operator bans or the vote at the bottom of the screen, which is something new on my streams. However, the split being 50-50 right now, it's not gonna change too much of anything. Extra cupcake, yeah, he's been invited. Let's get some of the psychopaths guys in the lobby here, and now would be as good a time as any to just have a chat with chat. Sounds redundant, but yeah, we've talked about the map. We've talked about the players as much as we reasonably could. So, how are you doing tonight? How are you all doing tonight? Go ahead.
Whew, wow. I am. I feel rusty. I do. This is going to be an interesting game to cast. This is going to be, if anything else, a warm up for me at least. I don't know about you, but we
I feel
haven't.
like it'll be
It's
yeah.
yeah. We haven't casted in just about was it last week during the week or was it? I think it was early last week. So just around a week. So it's gonna be a really weird game for us to be casting. Um, Probably an awkward one at some point, so definitely bear with us. But
Well, let's not underestimate ourselves. We are not that newbies, or we're not that unexperienced. I hope. So you talked about the map. What kind of just jumping ahead of ourselves here? What kind of operator bans could we expect coming off of this map? Like I'm pretty sure just about anybody, everybody here in the chat knows what to expect, but just to keep it entertaining and to just keep on talking here, filling the air. Attacking wise, I believe Jackal, Maverick would be these two, say, basic band operators. Maybe Thatcher if you want to go that route. But on the defense side, I do feel like we're seeing more of a variety of bands. Who do you expect to see ban on the defense here?
well, before we actually get into the defense, I'm gonna have to counter you on the offense
Okay,
ban. So I already
go ahead.
told you that I'm in firm belief of the clubhouse the play on hard breaching. So what I can
Yeah,
definitely expect from them
absolutely.
is either Thermite, Habana, or Thatcher being banned. Definitely, those are like the three pooled bans that we
Yeah,
normally see on Clubhouse, especially in competitive play. If they do want to go for more of like a rank strat and play off of roaming a lot more, especially because this map, again, with the surface area situation, it's not necessarily a roaming map, so you wouldn't really expect Jackal to be banned. Um, because normally, of course, attackers can hold their own angles, they can hold the flank drones, they can really just play around having to use a jackal or even ban him. And of course, even attackers can say that jackal is always going to come to their benefit, so why would they want to ban it, right? And then the defense is always going to want to ban the hard breaching operators, like I said. So it kind of falls into that loop. But other than that, in terms of actual defense, I would have to say um, probably some sort of stress on intel. I say this because, of course, Maestro is going to be one of your bigger operators, okay? He has an amazing LMG. He comes in with a plant denial opportunity with his gadget, along with just straight up intel. So if you do want to use him, he's always going to be, a big comfort pick, and he really just poses threat on all sides. Um, of course, other intel operators being Valkyrie, Mozzie, the other one is escaping me for some reason. Either way, uh, whatever you want to count as intel, as off intel, the same way. But I don't know. Other than that, intel operators, hmm,
So here's something.
not
Just
sure.
to interject or to just stir the conversation a bit. Actually, just totally changing subject. You've talked about Maestro being a good operator. What do you think the upcoming nerf to him is gonna change in the meta? He will apparently be losing his ACOG, which is, or actually, Ubisoft are considering removing the ACOG. Whether they will follow through with that or not, yet remains to be seen. However, usually they're pretty sure of what they want to do, and when they announce it, it's pretty much certain at that point. Um, that's obviously going to reduce his effectiveness. Does he need to be nerfed, or was he good in the current situation where he was in? What are your thoughts on that?
He needed to be nerfed. And the problem is with the whole nerfing and taking away his ACOG, it's not gonna help. And here's why. I've seen so many like threads on Twitter, so many conversations, arguments about it. So here's the thing. Um, as much as the devs will think taking away Maestro's ACOG will help, it won't because of the fact that he is, well, first of all, his the combination of damage, mag capacity, and fire rate in his
Yeah,
LMG is unmatched. Okay.
absolutely.
And taking away his ACOG, especially, you've talked about this at length too. When you are in a pro league environment, taking away an ACOG really is not that big of a feat. Okay, they're
No.
already gonna exactly. They're already gonna have the accuracy that they need. They're not necessarily going to need that ACOG in the first place, especially if they can, have eyes. If they can see long distances like that. I mean, of course, ACOG is the whole idea behind it is magnifying, right? And
Yeah,
what it does, of course, is, well, first of all, it makes the ADS time longer. I believe so, if I'm correct. I mean, people already use his hollow for the fact that it hollow reflex, red dot, whatever you want to call it. They already use it for the fact that they don't necessarily need to use ACOG in the first place. They don't they've never really needed it. He's never really been like an operator that you need to rely on ACOG for him to work. So, especially because he's a defending operator, of course, you would more so need it on attacking operators more than anything. And I feel like it's just ineffective at that point. Like, either, take down his mag capacity, his damage, or even his fire rate at that. I mean, I say mag capacity because it's the most straightforward
yeah.
type of nerf, but I don't know.
It
There's,
being an
yeah.
LMG, it is slow and sluggish, so mag capacity could be interesting. I have heard increasing its recoil as well, which I believe would not be that much of a nerf because pro league players or high level players will be able to control the recoil no matter what. Like just look at the Buck's gun. It does not have access to a foregrip by virtue of its gadget. However, pro league players
Mhm.
or high level players have no issues whatsoever controlling the recoil of that thing.
Right. So, the only way you can actually um make a efficient ban that will affect players of all skill levels is to make those types of straightforward bans, like, of course, taking away the damage, taking away the mag capacity, because mag capacity really doesn't even mean that much for pro league players either, especially considering the fact that they don't use as many bullets. It's
Yeah,
statistics,
yeah,
easy,
true.
right?
Yeah,
It's easy idea. They don't use as many bullets because they're more accurate with the bullets. So my whole thing is to potentially, right, either take down the fire rate or even make the damage smaller. I'd say take down the fire rate because
yeah,
it's just most logical, right? You take down the damage, you still have the high fire rate. It's basically like an SMG but with a big mag capacity, so it still works. It's
yeah.
not really doing much. You take down the damage. I don't know. I feel like
And at a high level play, it's the headshots are still gonna matter. So no matter the damage, you're still gonna get those easy kills. But a fire rate, well, just look at the UMP 45. It hits like a truck, but it is a really slow firing weapon, and that's why Pulse and Castle, sorry, are not or don't have the best of guns. Even though the gun hits hard, but it just doesn't shoot anything, doesn't it? Or it doesn't shoot fast enough to be competitive. So yeah.
right. And did I get? I think I got it twisted on my words. I'm not sure. I'm not even paying attention. Oh my gosh, this has been very, very lackluster for me. You're gonna have to bear with me here. Yeah, I was looking for my notes on Clubhouse so I can give a better explanation. But where are we at with the game? Let's see. Okay, we're still missing one player, or is that
Yeah,
me?
yeah, we're still missing one player, so which is why we're still talking about basically everything that comes to mind. Because what there was to say about the game, I believe at this point has pretty much been said, and nothing new has popped up. By that, I'm referring to the last player on Psychopaths that is still missing. And yeah, I believe they'll have to join in pretty quickly because ESL does have some rules for a no-show, and eventually he will be considered no-show if he doesn't join into the lobby. But Storms here in the in-game chat, which is way too small for you guys on the stream to see, says that the final player will be logging in around a minute. So let's just assume the game will start in just under 60 seconds by now.
Right. Yeah, so I actually am. I do love to cast Clubhouse as a map. I know a lot of casters don't actually like it because it's a map they cast very often, but I honestly I prefer it over Consulate. I prefer it over maps that have those higher surface area layouts where it makes it harder for you to predict where everybody's going. And of course, that's again that's a reason why casters actually like the game, but whatever. I think, however, kind of making a transition here, we are about ready.
Yep, I have had confirmation. So yeah, they're ready. So let's just type in good luck, have fun. And
Perfect.
as always, may the best team win. So here we go. Oh, and I have not updated. Yeah, this is the wrong overlay. Let me just fix this real quick. Thank you very much. It would have been awkward to have the to have the wrong overlay on. So yeah, here we go into the game. Psychopaths, Casual Kings. I am. Oh, got to wait. What? That overlay.
Here, you know what?
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll just take control of the stream here. So, our
Yeah.
first ban is going to be Maverick. Yeah, we kind of expected this. I was saying, airing along the lines of hard breaching bans. So, of course, Maverick, he really does make more of a difference, in my opinion, than taking away Thermite. Not sure about Thatcher, though. I feel like being able to, take away Thatcher is he has a lot more benefits in terms of, yeah, well, it's gonna be both though. He has a lot more benefits.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, in terms of utility blocking. So yeah, actually both operators are gonna be taken away. So this is kind of gonna be a double-edged sword, especially with the attack taking away something in terms of utility blocking. So that might give us a little bit of a different result when they're attempting to take away hard breaching spots like um well, CCTV for one, arsenal, the hatches, that type of thing, that area of the map. But our two other bans are going to be Maestro and Mira. So those don't really come to a surprise to us, especially Mira. She's really a big operator and to be used in any situation, anyway. So yeah, she can really just make any situation, just taking advantage of it and making it hers. It's basically kind of that straightforward glass wall that is gonna be something you want to take away from the game.
Absolutely. The first round here will be played in Church and Arsenal Room, which is something not every team is going to do. Like you would expect them to go cash and CCTV first, and here Nutty Potats. I'm always going for potatoes, but it's just my bad on that front. Nutty Potats are maybe we'll be expecting to push the top floor, and maybe they'll have a composition that's not really catered towards a bottom floor push. It yet remains to be seen, as they do have Thermite and a Hibana, so they should be pretty much able to fend for themselves. At least I hope so. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The rotations towards blue will be made, so some teams will want to just barricade everything off. Others will obviously open it up. Storms here will also be preparing a hole, definitely. Did my game just crash? No, it didn't. Alright, my bad. Yeah, somebody was at the top floor. I'm not exactly sure who that was, but their hatches have been reinforced. Oh yeah, it was Bosak, who will be coming back down in the meantime, so it does not appear as if anybody will be too focused on roaming. You take over?
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to mess around with my volume mixer for that. Yeah, so yeah, of course, you really pointed out some big things about the attacking and defending composition, so I can't really say too much else about that, but we are going to be seeing Jaeger. He's going to be roaming at the top floor, that is red stairs. So if the puck obviously running for him, if he can effectively counter the Jaeger, we might be able to see a roam clear situation happening for ourselves. But of course, being that there isn't as much surface area, like I was talking about previously, he might run into a wall and eventually a player from the other team. So he's going to have to be careful with the space that he does have, and he's going to have to play around the attackers effectively.
Yeah, right now I don't really think Nutty Patats know exactly where he is. They will be droning, they will be looking for him, but Storms is has a double-edged advantage to him right now, or a two-pronged advantage. They don't really know where he is, and he's holding a hatch, which will render it basically impossible, as long as he's still alive, to take control of Kitchen here. He apparently knows where... Is that Sophia's silhouette? As I say this, Ghosts will be the first one to... bite the dust. First blood here coming from Psychopaths. He will not, Storms I'm referring to, will not be trying more than absolutely necessary to hold Kitchen, thus leaving it open for maybe Cupcakes to open up the hatch, but they apparently seem to know where Storms is coming back. They seem to know that he's coming back up, and they're apparently holding the angle. The drone will be absolutely feeding intel, and Storms does not want to force himself into a disadvantaged position, so he'll just be backing off back into the objective, leaving us with just over a minute to push into the site itself for the attackers.
Yeah, so it does give a lot of time for an execute to potentially appear out of thin air for the attackers, but they're going to have to play this very, very well, especially now that they have two operators down, as I say, this 3v4 situation. So one operator down for the defense, but yeah, they're going to have to play very, very tight with the angles they want to hold and what operators they want to use and push it to the objective with. But of course, that's a whole different thing that we can analyze after the round. Let's look at what's happening right now. So Thermite is going to be taking away sorry, the
Dirt
oh my
tunnel.
gosh, yeah, my bad. I got completely lost there. Yeah, he's going to be taking away the dirt tunnel for the attackers, but as well as the Savannah is going to attempt to walk down blue stairs. However, she is going to see a lot of, well, pressure from the Mozzie to push back around, so she isn't really going to have a very safe entrance into there, and she's going to be going down to him. Sophia now into the objective along with Thermite. That's 2v2 situation. Thermite's going to take one. Sophia's going to be holding his alternate angles. Now Kaid putting in a Nitro Cell. That's going to be Twist taking away the planter, and for that, a win for the defense.
What a nice play
Wow.
here. Like, it absolutely went down to the wire. It could have gone either way, to be honest. And Psychopaths just so happened to have a skillful nitro toss, but for the Nitro Cell, really, it could have gone the other way really easily. So, looking at the replays, it went pretty well for the defense. Like, Storms was their first line of defense, obviously, and he played it really smartly here, wisely. He did not take unneeded risks, and he did not just want to waste his life uselessly, which led to him, first of all, wasting a lot of time on the attacker's side, like they were chasing a ghost. As soon as he was spotted or as soon as he got a kill, he just ran back down. And that, combining with the fact that the defense on the objective itself was a pretty formidable force in and of itself, well, there's not much to say that went against Psychopaths. They just played it how they should have.
Right. And one thing kind of to point out in terms of the attacking team for that round was the fact that they didn't necessarily play decisively, especially when there was a 3v5 situation. They kind of just waited and played off of their angles, especially with the Habana going down in blue stairs. And along with that, they didn't necessarily have a line of intel going directly to the objective. It was pretty evident by the fact that the Kaid was pretty easily able to just throw in a Nitro Cell and get a quick kill from the Thermite. If they had known that the Kaid was there, it might have prompted the Sophia to play, a little bit more aggressive towards the Kaid, or even hold more effective angles towards him. So it really came down to, decisiveness, lack of intel, and maybe even a little bit of miscommunications. But yeah, I think that just about sums it up.
Looking at the composition here, Nutty Patats, I think they have every tool required to be able to effectively win this round if they play their cards right. So, referring to, like, Hibana opening up that garage wall, they'll be able to cut off some rotations. Thermite will eventually, right now he's running, but eventually he'll make his way to that balcony wall. And you also have Capitao Juicy right now, not exactly where you'd expect him to go, but eventually he'll probably just be burning the inside of the reinforced wall. Storm Shrimp barely missing a kill, barely missing another one. However, the first blood that round went in Nutty Patat's advantage, and that is going to be banded down. So Thermite and Hibana, should she want to play that role, should have very little difficulties opening up the reinforced wall. Admittedly, you still do have a mute, but it's nothing that Just Luck here is not going to be able to deal with. So here we go with just barely over a minute played into the round. The reinforced wall has been opened, and we're already in a 3v5 situation.
Yeah, Thermite was able to capitalize on the Sophia playing below. So again, that was a lot of teamwork. That was a great effort from the attack team, and it brings them another outlet into the objective. So 5v3 situation, if they can get into the objective effectively, this is looking pretty good for them. Just as I say this, however, Echo is going to be falling prey to the Capital LMG. This puts us at a 5v2 situation with about 1 minute left on the clock. And now with that, garage is going to be contested by the attackers. So that is another area that the defenders are going to have to watch.
Yeah, this is looking pretty hopeless at that point. Nutty Patats, the only question remaining is it going to be a flawless round or not? Bosak knows he's being pushed from behind. He does not get the first kill. He gets the important kill, however. Diffuser is now no longer going to be planted, but that rotation through the window is going to be cut off by Extra Cupcakes, who was able to avenge his teammates and thus win the round for him and his team.
Yeah, we could definitely say at the end there that there was no real chance that the Legion was coming back. Of course, we're not going to put it out of the cards, but yeah, it was a really steep hill for him to climb, and completely understandable that he wasn't able to climb that. So yeah, this is going to put us to a 1-1 scoreline. I really enjoyed seeing that showing there, but I really hope that the defense can get it together, because they honestly were playing very aggressive, especially with 2 people being picked off at the beginning of the round. That put them into a very rough situation to handle. And of course, you see that CCTV hold isn't necessarily their forte, but even so, playing aggressive on it might not be the way to go for them.
So with that being said, obviously Psychopaths are going to go there again. You don't really expect them to be going bedroom if they don't really have to, considering they just lost here. They'll be trying their best to just fix whatever did not work in their previous meta and to just win the round by trial and error. So looking at what has changed in their composition, I do not believe we had a Cade last round. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that would indicate more of an emphasis towards keeping those reinforced walls protected and intact.
Yeah, of course, the Kaid and the Bandit being used, it is 2 lines of defense when you walk into this round, and yeah, you can definitely see that is going to be the emphasis on keeping those walls, well, intact, like you were saying. So in the case that they do Kaid trick and or Bandit trick, we can definitely expect, well, hopefully, some good results from them.
And the roaming game seems to be somewhat different than last round as well. Storms is no longer going to be as aggressive as he was. As I'm saying this, however, he seemed to be on his way to go and do those pesky stairs again. The top of that wall will be opened up as well, so maybe grenades can be chucked through, thus attacking Twist. Does he have a Jaeger ADS device? Apparently not, so should Buck play it smart, like he like he can. Twist could be dealt with pretty easily here, but Buck simply is just not here to help out, and the grenades will be tossed at the ceiling here, not getting any kills, however. Bosak would be the one and only defender that could potentially fall victims to those frag grenades, but he is not, standing on a destructible floor. As I say this, the double kill and the refrag here goes, kind of saving his team. And the push yet is kind of bound to happen. Thermite, has he achieved his goal? Apparently not. The reinforced wall is still intact, so we really will have to find a way through the inside of the building rather than just coming in from a hole that we've opened up ourselves. That will make it extra obvious. Bosak will obviously just be holding the stairs, and should he be good enough, he'll be able to get the kills.
Right, so of course with Kaid being up, that doesn't really leave too much opportunities for the attack to go ahead and take away the main wall. So they're going to have to find another way around in terms of hard breaching if they do want to make that effort viable for themselves. But, oh, wow, just as I didn't think that was going to actually happen. Oh, that Kaid trick was not, unfortunately. It didn't work right. So that's going to be the wall open. Wow, I'm speechless at that. I really thought that would work.
And that's also going to be helping the attacking team tremendously as Echo, the now dead Echo, nice one tap by the way, was another one. Will he get the 3-piece? That's the question right now. Bosak is taking a risk by holding the ankle, which he does not exactly need. There's still 30 seconds into the round. The attackers do not have diffuser, but that will be it. Nice little clutch, nice little comeback. Bosak showing us that you don't need to have a full automatic gun when you have, well, good accuracy.
And that's a shotgun DMR for you.
It is.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That was quite the round. It was really a teeter-totter round, if you think about it, okay? We obviously saw, Twist, it was able to get a double kill, of course, refragged out quickly. That really put the round in the hands of the attack, especially with 1 minute left. It gave them lots and lots of room to really move around, but of course with the Echo being a little bit too aggressive on the pitch, the Bono was able to shut him down. That put us into a 1v3 situation. It was pretty bleak for the Kaid going into it, but he was just able to show his true colors, and those true colors were accuracy and the ability to play out the situation right, and especially with intel, that is deadly for the attackers. So quick 1, 2, 3 for him, and the round was over just like that.
Apparently, your mic was lagging a bit, so that's obviously on my end since I'm hearing you perfectly fine. But yeah, I will have to figure this out with the chat. You have audio problem, your mic's lagging. Is it? God damn it.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so apparently your mic was having an issue, and maybe it's still that's overstream software that's overloading the computer. I ideally hope it's not. So yeah, just sent a question in chat. With the 4.5 minutes delay, it is obviously gonna make it extra hard for us to figure this out. Apparently not.
Might be the Parsec Discord and the overstream overloading your computer. We'll have to figure it out after game, but streamlining into the next round.
Absolutely.
2:30 already left on the clock with Jaeger attempting to roam once again. It's going to be a 1-2 scoreline, so the attack is still at odds to win out this round, at least, especially being that they won so flawlessly the first time around. So being able to do that, hopefully, is going to be a good feat for them. And yeah, so of course, the only round that they did lose was on CCTV. They were flawless, but they did come back in a fabulous fashion, 1 versus 3 with Kaid. Just to refresh your guys' memories. So with this bottom floor hold, it's going to take a lot of finesse from the attackers and a lot of roam clear if they want to effectively win this one, especially with the Jaeger now. But yeah, just as I'm explaining that, the Jaeger is going to be going down, so it's a 4v5 situation anyways. 1:30 left on the clock, so roam clearing efforts have been successful with no collateral, thank God. And now we can finally say that they might be in a way to poise themselves for an attack.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what's happening in chat, so I'm not really doing a great observing job, so let's just hope Capitao gets something interesting done here.
Well, so far, any real blue room take hasn't really been successful for the attackers, so with Capitao going in here rather than Habana, hopefully he will be able to take control of blue room and possibly get the kill on the Mute. Here he is receiving lots of pressure. Yep, and the Mute is going to be going down at the hands of the Zofia this time. So blue room is going to be uncontested, but it is still up to Capitao to take up that free land with Kaid holding these stairs. Now Legion staying below the kitchen area with the attackers having a very close eye on it, attempting to take out patches now, especially in blue bar. So no more exothermic charges for Thermite, meaning that they can't get into church anymore, but they still have the opportunity to go down the hatches and, well, clear the area for themselves. Oh, and that's going to be a one-tap for Twist. Oh my gosh, it's the Kaid coming back.
So yeah, people are still asking to fix the mic. Let's just take a look at what it
Okay.
gives next round. And yeah, if worse comes to come, since apparently my mic is fine, yeah, just luck has to get back up, but it will obviously not work.
So, okay, it's the way that your computer is working, so would you maybe want to turn off either Discord or Parsec? Because either way, they're both streaming to me the same exact feed.
So yeah, Parsec is running off of the gaming computer, so it's not gonna have any impact on the streaming PC. So yeah, I can absolutely shut down the Discord screen share that we're having. However, like the CPU is running at 27%, which is a long way of being overworked, and
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
so I'm just listening at the stream right now with the 4.5 minutes delay. We're seeing the replays from the previous round. So I'm just keeping an eye out on that, and I will just make sure to mute the gaming PC as long as I have this on, just to make sure that there's no echo here. But it seems to be looking good right now. Yeah, as far as I can hear, it's good now. The audio looks good now. Okay, so I will assume it is just Overstream that is overloading the computer. So
You might want to put up Discord again, potentially?
let's not tempt the devil right now, because I always hate it when there's something like that going on. So yeah, if if anybody here is a streamer that was thinking of using the Overstream software, you will absolutely need a dedicated PC to run it as a server off of, because even with a high-end Ryzen CPU, there's no way to run both OBS and that off of the same computer. Lesson learned. Well, sorry everybody for the audio issues. And please just let me know if problems do creep up again, as we will make sure to fix them as soon as they appear. So yeah, Discord screen share is now on again.
All right, something
So,
quite interesting here,
yeah.
though, we're going to see is that a lot of intel opportunity going ahead for the defense. Echo is going to be watching Buck and Habana walk into CCTV very, very closely. So, of course, the Kaid that is sitting in CCTV right now does know where the Buck and Habana are, and he does have that opportunity to, well, really take advantage of it. Just as I say that, it's going to be the Nitro Cell going down for Buck. And that is going to be the death of him. Very unfortunately, Capitao is going to be taking lots of collateral damage as well from that, putting him at around 25 health. And wow, it is Sophia taking the kill on Mute. That is a situation that could have definitely been avoided if Mute was not sitting at the window. Of course, potential intel, breach on the attack. And that is going to be now Kaid going down to Habana. She's going to be taking advantage of the situation. 4v2 right now for the attack. So it's going to be Mute, Echo, and Kaid being taken away from this round already with 1 minute left to go.
So here's the one thing I'd like to point out. We have seen, I'm not sure who it was that was playing Kaid and got the 1v3 clutch. However, Twist was absolutely not playing with the TSG-12. And yeah, no clutch is going to be coming from him. It appears that you do have access to the controls, or I think you do, because I see a few things moving without me actually hitting the controls. So if you want to talk about whoever it was... Oh, will we get a one-tap here? Will Storms? What
Oh
is Storms
no.
doing?
Oh no. Oh no, that's gonna be the Zofia going down to the Jaeger now. Oh, Storms, he is a he is a king. He just did that. Wow. So that's going to be a 2v1 situation. Storms is going to be
Was
taken
that a
away from the
wall
round.
bang?
Attackers winning it out. I think it might have been. No, I think no. It was a.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
it was.
It was. Wow.
Wow, he's nutty.
He is. Absolutely.
He's a gunner. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Yeah, I am so sorry. I'm looking at something.
So here I am really glad that the audio issues have been solved. So thank you everybody for bearing with us. Or, well, those of you who are still here, obviously the viewers have dropped or tanked a tiny little bit. So those of you who can hear this, thank you all for bearing with us. So getting back our full attention on the game is also going to be quite nice for us. We have seen Storms pull off 1 or 2 clutches so far. That round, however, proved to be outside of his capabilities. I'm quite surprised to see him not shoot at Zofia until she starts moving again. Like, he had a bit of free time. He had all the time in the world to line up the one-tap should he decide to do so. But he just let the diffuser be planted without really doing anything, surprisingly enough. So that's going to lead us to a 2-3 scoreline. 6th round here, so Psychopaths are on their last round before the role swap.
So something a little interesting to point out is I feel like a lot of this is objective based, right? We've been seeing a lot of wins from the defense when they go, well, for example, I believe it was Arsenal, right, that they've had their most, or was it CC?
What were you referring to exactly?
Their most round wins.
So we have been to CCTV 2 times so far, resulting in 1 victory and 1 loss. No, it was Arsenal and Church that they've defended twice and won twice.
Right, so of course, they've been having the most, high success rate, we can say, on Arsenal and Church. So that being said, CCTV isn't their best site, and along with this, of course, the tertiary site being Gym Bedroom obviously isn't working out for them. So my question is, are they more site-oriented, or are they just having problems, you know, within themselves, or, you know, within the strategy against the attackers that's a problem? I'm not quite sure. What do you think?
It's quite an interesting question. I'd say it does seem to me as if they've, well, prepared or practiced more on some sites than others. There wasn't any, like, easy or specific mistake I could point towards. However, you could see how well organized they were when defending the bottom floor, and how it was just next to impossible to even just walk down the stairs for Nutty Patats here. So I'd expect they have a bit more, say, training on one side compared to the others.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that one, especially the fact that this is supposed to be naturally a defense-sided game, and for there to be any, you know, wrongdoings within the defense would mean, you know, a potential loss for them, especially at such high-level play. So it really is essential for them to not necessarily make those fails, to kind of come up strong as a team, especially when it comes to strategy. But of course, getting back into the round, about 1 minute left on the clock. We're going to be seeing a 1v4 situation. The defense has done it again. They have won their 6th round, putting us to a 4-2 scoreline going into the role swap. So of course, this is something that the defense wants to have, as well as, I mean, debatably, the attack. So the attack going into their defense rounds, having 2 rounds up on the defense, they might be able to pull this back if Nutty Potatoes does so in, well, a efficient and well-timed manner.
Yeah, you could, or some people would consider 4-2, as you said, that map being defense-sided, as being an indication of both teams being pretty much neck and neck. So, should we see the same situation just inverted since the role swap just happened, we would be looking at a possible overtime situation. It admittedly remains to be seen as we're only halfway into the game. But standing where I stand right now, or with the information or with the knowledge that we have right now, I would not be too surprised to see that potential overtime happening.
So something we don't necessarily see in these defense rounds is going to be Mozzie being played on this first defense coming from Team Nutty. But Mozzie, as a player, what do you think his strengths are and his weaknesses are versus a player like Maestro or even a straightforward intel operator like Valkyrie?
Intel denial, absolutely, because he doesn't just put his intel up, he also steals attackers' intel, which is has the double advantage that I just mentioned. You reduce the attackers' capabilities and increase your own in well, at the same time, which is something Valkyrie doesn't do, and your cameras also can be mobile. So if at a given time your camera doesn't have a good line of sight, well, just change it. Obviously, you will be somewhat vulnerable in the meantime, but that's a part of the game, and every attacker is working with the same gadget, and we wouldn't say that droning is a bad idea in and of itself, as long as you use those parameters, or as long as you deal with those parameters in a reasonable way. Mozzie can be a terrible force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, if you just saw that, it was the missed kill for Kaid. He would have had that kill on Thermite if he just peeked a little bit sooner. But yeah, something interesting as well to point out is the fact that Twitch is going to be in use. So
Yes.
rather than using somebody like a Thatcher, which of course is banned right now, they're going to be going towards an alternative route, being Twitch. So yeah, they're going to try that one out. Of course, Mute isn't being put into play. Jaeger is, so of course, as well as Kaid and Mozzie. So it really is a good opportunity for the attack to get some utility taken away from the defense, but the Thermite charge is going to be going down. That one is successful with Capital being put into play, and Bandit is left helpless. He isn't able to put down a shock wire in time. It was the Twitch's help along with the Capital that really made it work. That's the teamwork that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Capital was one of the bans that I would not have been surprised to see should it have come to that. Not to bring up that whole conversation again, since we're way past the time to talk about that, but yeah, you absolutely do see how Capital can be to good use in that on that map, and this round being a prime example of that. I was gonna say it's a 4v5 situation, but we're able to see a frag and another one coming down. The push on the objective now seems pretty possible. Will the Natural Cell get the kill? Apparently not. 2v4. The defense is just collapsing at this point. Extra Cupcakes paying attention to the garage, does not even have the time to look to his left, and he will not get the first kill.
Unfortunate. So that was a 1v4 situation and evaporated into a 4v0 for Psychopaths. So this is going to put us at a 5v2 scoreline, with Psychopaths putting themselves in an almost I say this, match point situation. So if they are able to get one more round away from Nutty, they might be able to, well, win out the game. And at least for right now, they're going to be putting themselves in a potential no point of return. Hans, would you like to explain to our viewers what that is?
Funny enough, I was gonna bring it up if you didn't. So the point of no return, as we like to call it, I have, to be honest, not seen any other casters talk about that phenomenon. So I guess we really did come up with it. Even though we're not yet at a match point situation, the gap between the two teams' current points is so big that I don't expect Nutty Patats to be able to win, let's say, 4 rounds before Psychopaths manage to get the two last points that they need in order to win the map. So the game is not yet over, admittedly. However, realistically speaking, Psychopaths, in my mind at least, have already won. Just to rephrase that, I don't think Nutty Patats are able to mount the comeback given the current situation, and thus I would be extremely surprised to see the blue team winning here.
Of course, we're not saying that it isn't bound or, could be deemed to happen, but We are saying that it is very unlikely that a comeback is to happen between these two teams. So we're going with our guts as, you know, as analysts, as predictors of this match, and saying that this is probably not going to happen and it's going to end up in Psychopath's favor, that we do see a win from them.
Well, you know, the underdog comeback stories do happen. They're quite rare, and that scarcity is what makes the whole thing so astonishing and, well, say, magical. So it yet might happen, but as you said, we don't really expect to see that. So the remaining question will be how will Psychopaths actually win this? One step at a time. How will they go at it for the current round? It does seem as if they're going to be playing off of, well, the anti-roaming. So they want to see who would be outside of the objective, who would be possibly isolated. It does not appear as there is any roamer, or at least that I can tell, as everybody is on or near the objective. So Psychopaths will be able to put whatever plan they want to put into motion with minimal disruption. Nobody will be harassing them whilst, for example, Hibana is opening up the hatches, or whilst Zofia is disorienting, Twitch breaking the ADS devices before flash nades are being tossed. Whatever they plan to prepare, they'll have minimal difficulty doing so.
Yeah, this comes as a double-edged sword for the attack, because of course there's going to be more defenders up, but there also is going to be more attackers up. So
Absolutely.
they can really, they can really make sure that their plan is put into motion quicker as the attackers, but at the same rate, more defenders are up, so they can really corroborate with each other and say, you know, this is what needs to be done here, and point out to each other in terms of intel, in terms of actual bodies, what needs to happen. Especially with smaller surface area going in on the bottom floor, it really could turn out to be a positive for the defenders. But yeah, it is going to be an impact trick for the defense. So Thermite is going to be at a loss for his exothermic charge. He does have no more charges up for himself, so this is going to be now a horizontal take. Twitch taking the first pick at the defenders. That is going to be Waffle killing the Kaid. Now she is going to be in Moto, so making the first drive for the objective, and she's going to be unseen so far by the defense, but it's going to be Echo who takes the first
What was
pick
she doing
at
looking at the
Twitch.
ceiling?
Not sure. Oh my gosh. And with more refrags coming in, it is going to be Echo going down. 2v4 situation. The defense still is at odds to lose out this round, even with 15 seconds left. It's going to be the attack who still have more bodies up.
Yeah, and they have not lost the diffuser either, so a lucky kill could have changed the odds, but with 8 seconds remaining, the diffuser is not going to be planted, and will we be able to stop it? It does not seem likely. Will he get the lucky kill? He does! He only has to survive, and that was obviously going to happen. Nutty Patats mounting the quick comeback for that round.
Oh my gosh, that was a big loss for the attack. That was a round that could have been easily won. That was, as much as you can easily say, a thrown round for the attack. Wow. They did not watch their ankles efficiently. Apparently, the Abbas didn't know where that Mozzie was coming from, and if they did, they definitely would have been able to have a hand in, well, being able to take him away from the round before anything could happen to that precious Thermite. But in that instance, it really did seem like it was more of a problem for the attack. I mean, it really does go back on the attack, because if they had been able to hold more efficient angles, had been able to keep more efficient intel, they might have been able to, well, win out the round without having any collateral, and especially collateral that costs you the entire round itself.
Or to put it in another way, should they have been more efficient with their attack, they would not have had to rely on Hibana's X-Kairos to walk into the objective, and should that opening have been non-existent, obviously the round would have gone to Psychopaths. So, absolutely, thrown round, lost round, Psychopaths were not supposed to lose that, but hey, a close call, a close match is what we absolutely do like to see as casters, since, well, the 7-0 situation, the very predictable outcomes tend to be less, say, exciting for us, and for you as well, I presume.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I were to play the devil's advocate on your statement, that spot in church, the main church wall right by the uh, bar, is a really
It's
big.
pretty important. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Of course, it's a really big part for the attack to hit on. So, regardless if it was a thermite or if it was a Habana hole that was made, it should have been a focal point for the attack, especially with the defenders knowing full well, and really the attackers knowing full well where the defenders were coming from. It kind of comes as a surprise to me that the attackers didn't know where the Mozzie was in that second, especially because Mozzie was able to take a life even before he grabbed the thermite from a spot.
So here we go. The roaming game of Nutty Patats seems to be just as strong as Psychopaths, or especially it was Storms. Storms was the roamer when they were defending. So both teams do have some strong roamers. Nutty did not exactly play the roaming game last round, but this round, well, the results are definitely there. Good on them is basically all I have to say, as the push will have to come from construction. Thermites and Hibana have apparently failed to open up the reinforced wall from the outside, so their push is going to be pretty predictable at this point. Ghost is absolutely ready with both the Commander 9 and the Nitro Cell to deny access to the bomb site.
Definitely alongside him is going to be Bandit. So yeah, he is going to be sending the objective with him, but something quite interesting to see here is the fact that there is going to be real no emphasis on the main wall. Rather, it's going to be towards construction. So obviously 3 players being put in the side of construction, there's going to leave room, leave room open for the flank from the defenders. So if in this case the attackers weren't, well, careful or cautious enough with the way they were attacking, they might be in a place where they can get flanked by that castle walking very slowly up the stairs.
I believe one of the attackers has tossed a drone for their dead teammates to watch, so I would be surprised if we actually had the advantage of surprise here. As you can see, his position will be known, but the effect is still going to be the same. You cannot just keep on the pressure on the objective without risking your back to be exposed, so somebody will have to pull out, pull back, sorry. That's going to be Twist, who will obviously not be contributing to the team effort here. And him coming back on the objective, or turning his back against the roamer, will allow Juicy to just walk ever so slowly towards the attackers. Now it's going to be Storms who's watching his the backside, and there we go. The kill will happen. Will he be able to set foot on the objective? It does not appear to be the case. The diffuser now lost. 1v4 situation, Storms has to go for the kills, and that was just not going to happen. Nutty Patats. What is it now? Round 9. They're almost back to an equilibrium. We almost have brought the scores back neck and neck.
Yeah, and something really interesting to point out there is the fact that the defense obviously won almost flawlessly, but it's the fact that the attack really wasn't. It was really lackluster at points, right? They really were just playing single-handedly on their heart-breaching effort. It wasn't really, any attackers attempted to go around and put a duality into the push. It was really, you put 3 players on construction, any other players who, well, really were taken out at the beginning of the round are just collateral and just are, the roam clear obviously wasn't effective enough. The castle was able to go in, waste enough time for the attackers, kind of split up the attention from one area to another. Along with that, you can attribute this to the thermite. He was wasting way too much time attempting to get that wall open, whereas it really he could have been aided by the Capitao going around to the other side and even making an attempt to hit the objective itself, horizontally, vertically, whatever you want to call it. And then on top of that, it was the Habana sitting in lounge, attempting to make holes, or verticality holes, through the top floor with her SMG. That really that was surprising for me to see. And it doesn't really hold very much, I guess, importance to do that. I don't really understand the point behind that. I'd have to talk to the player on that one, but I mean, if you know it, you can say something about it, but I didn't really understand that.
The broad statement would be verticality is to not be underestimated in this game, but they really did not have the right tools to play that card. So, yeah, they ended up just pretty much wasting time without getting any, say, results in return, which led to them losing the round in a, at that point, somewhat predictable manner, I would say. So we will be here defending Gym and Master's Bedroom, but the hold will be quite extended as we're used to see at this point. So that means Juicy will be here at the top of the eastern stairs, and I don't think that we will be actually I was going to say wasting, but using too much utility to open up the reinforced wall. I appear to have been wrong. Juicy, with no bandit or coyote in sight, we'll just have to accept that the hard breach will happen, and thus our two defenders here are bound to receive some amount of pressure pretty shortly. The other... Yeah, go ahead.
My
you here?
parsec crashed.
Okay, so let's just... In the meantime, you still have Discord screen share. So we do have the push that's going to be coming in from...
Screen share.
Your Discord is lagging as well. Are you still there?
I do. Sure.
Alright, I'm hearing you correctly right now. So let's hope that this gets fixed pretty quickly. Yeah, Parsec is not the most reliable software out there. Twitch! The Motzi Twitch is gonna sabotage! Oh no! Twist, what an unfortunate fate for the exothermic charge. Ah, that's unfortunate. Storm saying nice, Motzi. Yeah, that was nicely played. With 55 seconds remaining on the clock, we now have to find a way to push in without the hard-breaching capabilities on the attacking side. So Kush really does have to get a few kills here. If not, it is going to stagnate to the point where the timer is no longer going to allow for anything. He might get one or two, or get a kill through that drum hole if he is crafty, as Just Luck is really well aligned with that, but that doesn't appear to be the case. We see Waffles on the objective, gets a double kill. Will he be able to just keep control on the diffuser? Extra Cupcakes is doing his best to deny access, but he is kind of losing it right now, as if you want to look at the the territory that we're controlling. Extra Cupcake is the last operator alive, gets the kill. That's diffuser once again lost. Will he get the double Kush? Now with 7 seconds, gets the kill through the wall bang. Psychopaths winning by a mere inch. That was really, really close. Both players went for the wall bangs, and Kush just happened to be lucky that round.
There we go, and I am finally back on Parsec.
You have missed something.
Yeah, I wasn't even able to see the Discord screen share because it lagged down on me too, so I wasn't able to
Wow,
look at
that's
that.
unfortunate.
That is, yeah, it's so unfortunate.
So here's the thing.
What happened? Just fill me in. Fill me in.
Hard breaching failed, so we had to just push in through construction. That kind of worked. Twitch getting 2 kills, including one on Castle, who was trying to get back on site. So that was a nice little, I don't want to say flick shot, but he had to turn around to get the second kill. Defenders were able to get a few kills in return, so that led to us having a 1v1 situation, defender being on gym, attacker being on bedroom. The wallbang contest was in full swing, as the diffuser was not getting planted with 6 seconds remaining and no diffuser in the inventory. And Kush, the attacker, with Zofia, happened to win the, well, say the Lotto here, really, because wallbangs tend to rely on luck and hazard quite a bit, leading us to a match point situation in favor of Psychopaths Gaming here.
For sure. Well, what can I say? Of course, Twitch is going to be used again. So, utility blocking. Alternative course, in the case that they do want to use this. Velk is going to be used here as well. I'm not sure if you talked too extensively about Velk.
Not yet.
Yeah, so Velk and Mozzie are going to be used here. This tells us that we will be seeing lots of emphasis on the intel side of things, being that, well, we can see 6 sources of intel, if you want to look at it that way, at the most. In the case that both operators do put out their intel in the most effective way they possibly can.
But there's also Legion that can gather
Yeah.
some intel when the goo mines, well, blow up, I want to say. They do make a bit of noise, and there's also the cry of pain coming from the attacker, which will reveal his position, on top of taking away a bit of health. It's not exactly a camera, but, you know, it's still more effective than, say, Bandit's gadget in that instance.
Alrighty, so Twitch is going to be taking out the floor as she does with her breaching charges. So that's going to be more angles into the objective, into the bottom floor, which is definitely something that the attackers want to have. So yeah, verticality efforts being made for the attack, which really just does further their efforts trying to get into the objective. As time does tick down with about 1:30 left on the clock, we can definitely assume that this is going to be a kitchen bar take with an emphasis on, well, taking away the church once more, but this time around the Valk is going to be staying in church, so she's going to have definitely something to say about this one, as well as this Kaid is getting taken away in Moto. So Valk retreating back, but Kaid still being collateral in this situation. A little bit confused as to why he didn't push back in time, but of course that is going to be a kill for the attackers and a good one.
So we are now really set to finish the map. I believe Psychopaths do have the 5-3 man advantage. Hard breaching has done its part, so they really they have a lot of choice as to where they want to push in from. Hatches have been opened. The verticality, thanks to Storms, has been really helped as well. And apparently Twist is now set to plant the diffuser. Extra trying to hold off the attack, but just failing, and he will not, or he probably will not be in a position to prevent the plant of the diffuser. He is luckily still alive. He'll be turning his attention to the top floor. Will he get that kill? He does not. I saw Sledge. I think he went prone at the same time, which kind of confused me. So now that's diffuser planted, and now 2v2 situation. The comeback, or the slight clutch from Nutty might still happen. As I say this, 1v2 situation, Kush, now the last hope for his team. Will he get that first kill here? He kind of knew Mozzie was there, not too surprising. 1v2. The pressure is now on Extra, who has little to no health. Disoriented as he is, it's going to be really difficult, but he cannot just hesitate on that. Fires a few shots, his position will be known, and that's going to be Psychopaths winning the map.
Unfortunate. He wasn't able to get the diffuser in time if he did take the kill on Zofia either way. So, yeah, it was a lost round by the time that diffuser ticked down. But, of course, a valiant effort from both the defenders in the end. And GG to them. Great job. I really hope that they can take that opportunity really as a learning process for them. Both teams really made mistakes in the end, and both teams were able to, you know, of course, tried their hardest and work towards the win. Of course, one team did come out on top, being Psychopaths, putting us at a 7 for scoreline in the end.
All in all, I can only say what a nice game. I believe both games, not just I believe, both teams actually have presented some really solid plays from time to time. So both teams did have their moments. However, like you said, both teams also committed a few mistakes, so that was somewhat unfortunate, but learning experience. Just echoing back what you said, no time like the present. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say on that. Both teams did a really good job, but at the end of the day, the skill difference between Psychopaths and Nutty was just too significant for Nutty to just be able to say, let's just focus and try extra hard, and we might just be able to win the round, or win the map, actually. They did not give up. Like, even when it was a 5-2 scoreline, they still tried their hardest. Which I do have to give them props for that. It just so happened to be not enough at the end of the day.
Yeah, and of course we're going around in circles here, but the main thing that we wanted to say was GG to both teams, and you know, of course, just great job in all. It was an amazing effort from both teams, and glad that they got this opportunity to go out on this type of stage, CL qualifiers.
Yeah, CL qualifiers is not something that just any team can hope to win. Well, it is an open qualifier, so admittedly everybody can try and hope their best. But yeah, it is gonna be Psychopath's victory here. Let's see who we want to cast next, as there's gonna be a bit of a downtime between this round and the next. It is set to start in 20 minutes, I believe. So yeah, do you want to just add something to that?
I would have to go on the ESL website, but other than that, not too much. Of course, for everybody in the stream, thank you guys all for sticking around and watching. I appreciate every single one of you, all 54 viewers. This is still pretty insane.
It is.
We don't normally get these types of viewers even in Go 4 matches, so it is a pretty big thing for us.
You could argue that this is a bit more interesting, or say important, than the typical Go 4, which would explain why we get these numbers. Nonetheless, we are still really, really grateful and happy to have those numbers. Let's just rename that in OBS to make it easier for me to work the thing. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, I think we will go into a be right back screen, as the second round will be played in 20 minutes. And I don't know about you, but I don't have enough on my mind to just keep on talking for 20 minutes. So, we will see you guys around 8:30. Well, given the delay, say 8:35. Thank you all for being here, and we absolutely hope to see you guys for the next game. So, yeah, see you in... See you shortly.
To go.
C4 ready. Detonate.
5 seconds remaining. The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Operators, you are out of time.
See you on the other side.
Bomb. Attackers dropped the seconds remaining. Bomb located by attackers. Attackers located. diffuser has been dropped.
And we are back. By popular demand, we will be casting Psychopaths again. So this time we're playing against LOL XD, a team name that absolutely does not scream troll at all. I was definitely not being sarcastic either. The next question was going to be, what map are we playing? Is the map ban done so far? Apparently not, so we don't know where the battle is going to take place, if we want to put it that way. However, the votes are live again, so if you guys want to just share your thoughts on the game, basically let us know who you think is going to win this game and this map. How are you feeling going into this game? Do you have any expectations, knowing that LOLXT, I believe, have lost their previous game? Let me just make sure so that I don't make a goof out of myself. Yeah, no, they've won 7-4 against Revenue, so both teams just come off of a victory here.
Okay, well, if we're going off of statistics, if we want to work
Yes.
that way, well, we have been following Psychopaths Gaming, so we could say their statistics are pretty positive that they are, a good team, right? They've been getting pretty high round counts on teams that, they haven't really been having too much of a problem getting good amounts of rounds and good time and in really good fashion, right? Very efficiently. What you really want to see in terms of team performance, that type of thing, if we want to go, real game, in how the game is actually going to fare, statistics aside. Of course, stats are not usually indicative of really how a team will play. I mean, they give you baseline of how a team possibly could perform, but in my experience, especially as a caster, it hasn't necessarily been really a sign of what is going to go on, especially if the teams are balanced like they do seem to be. So well, I guess we could say that we're rooting for Psychopaths.
Well, the community
But
probably is, absolutely.
well, yeah, community. We're not obviously going to be biased about it.
As casters,
but
yeah, we do
as
have
casters,
to be partial.
yeah, we're
impartial, sorry.
unbiased. Let me rephrase that. We're unbiased. We're going to be expecting Psychopaths to win, being that we have watched them before, not necessarily being biased in game, of course. On the sidelines, I will be rooting for them. Of course, they do. They are the team that I prefer, but of course, no bias in game. I will never strike down a player specifically. um, but yeah, I mean, just kind of to make very broad statements about it, you never know what's going to happen until you're in game.
Oh, absolutely. And Bank, this map, I would say, is one of the least liked of the community, or at least out of all the maps, this is one that we don't cast too often. Like, looking at Clubhouse, Border, even Coastline, they do pop up way more often than this one does. So, sorry, I did have some inconvenient hiccups here. So yeah, Bank, to be honest, yeah, we do know the map, but we don't have the same amount of experience compared to the other maps that I've just mentioned and a few other more.
Yeah, so let's talk about Bank as a map now that we actually
Yeah,
know the map pick. Um, Bank. Bank is a really interesting map because, of course, like Hans said, we don't necessarily cast it as often as we would a map like Clubhouse, Villa, those types of really popular picks. But what I can say about Bank is that it has a lot of surface area, right? It has a lot
it
of
does.
area for the attackers and just as well as that the defenders to cover. So this can be really a double-edged sword if you want to think about strategy, if you want to think about how the time will tick down to its last second. It can really be used for or against the attackers depending on how well they can roam clear and how well they can take control and secure specific areas of the map. We are talking, very broad areas like heaven, main lobby, that type of thing. Of course, along with this, there's going to be a lot of heart breaching efforts being made. Of course, CEO is a big one. The bottom objective being lockers and CC down there, server room, whatever you want to call it, basically is going to be a big epicenter for hard breaching efforts as well. We can expect lots of utility, though. We can expect lots of intel operators being put into play, lots of utility like Capital, Nomad, Gridlock, trying to shut down rotations and flanks. Because, of course, we know the surface area can be used against both teams, so they want to cover their bases, they want to cover their corners. So it really would be logical for them to choose operators, well, that would do so. So, yeah, what else?
The verticality
Yeah.
I
Oh,
find
yeah,
is quite interesting on this map. However, like
right.
you do have the bottom floor or the basement actually that is only destructible by the hatches. So verticality really is going to be played between the first and the second floor. Which is kind of an interesting meta. Like most other maps, when you think of the basement, some portion of it at least is going to be destructible. So that was something I wanted to point out. It's obviously something everybody knows. Whether we have actually consciously been aware of it, or just like known it was a factor without pinpointing that specific fun fact.
Right. I mean, it's something interesting to point out, something interesting to say, and something that we should not definitely leave out. And I'm glad that you actually said that because I probably wasn't gonna cover that. But of course, other than that, I don't really have too much to say about Bank, about the way it is played strategically. I don't think that we have actually casted psychopaths on Bank before historically, so I don't think we really have any, well,
Indeed.
data
Of the
on
top
how
of
they're
my
gonna
head,
play.
I cannot exactly remember us casting them. I know I have in a previous LAN event, um, in the grand final actually with that which they ended up winning. Or here, just to talk about psychopaths. Last year, they have ended second in the Canadian Nationals, so they're not the best. Like they're in the Challenger League qualifiers, but they're still a pretty good team, all things considered. I have psychopaths here, and there we go. I was wondering if LolXD was gonna send me a friend request or if somebody on the psychopath team was gonna invite them to the lobby. The latter seems to be what's happening. So here we go. The screen is pretty small for you guys, but we will be set to start the game pretty shortly as soon as the 4 remaining players log in.
Evil waffle.
I just heard
So
that.
yeah, some gamer tags are, let's say, unique. One thing,
Evil
the
waffle.
votes are as of yet empty, so I don't really know who the community is rooting for. Like we can always make comments off of that and kind of get a sense of who the people are rooting for. I believe psychopaths are going to be the favorites here, like we've discussed previously. But by how much is the question? And I do realize that it's just that thing that really only needs refreshing, as some answers have been given. Psychopaths leading a 70 to 30% say approval rating, if I want to put it that way. That's not what I wanted to do. Thank you myself for not being a dummy. So there's only two players missing on the map on the game. You know
Hey
what?
guys, you guys want def or offense first?
Defense.
Okay.
All right, so we won't have to switch up the teams. That's gonna make it a bit easier for us. One question that people sometimes.
Gush, I'm a big fan. I love you so much.
Okay, players in game are definitely having a good time. That's encouraging. Like you wouldn't want somebody that is feeling blue right now to be in for the game
We
of their
can't
life.
really necessarily explain off they're just
They're just
they're
having
having fun.
fun.
They're having
Yep.
fun.
Hey guys, are you
Alright.
guys ready?
Yep.
Oh shoot, let me just update the team names and then we'll be good.
Okay.
Let me before you actually
Yes.
do
Lol.
anything. Let
Yes.
Kev, you don't do
me
that,
to-
okay?
because it
Bad one.
actually froze on me.
You mean Parsec?
Kiss me right now.
Mwah.
So yeah, just I am ready to start whenever you are, and if not,
Yeah.
of course, there's also always the Discord screen share. Are you good?
Yeah, my CPU is
Oh,
clocking per sec.
Oh,
Whenever whenever
Kimochi
it
senpai.
this is up, it basically
Habla
Yeah.
español, amigo.
Your
it-
your camera is also lagging a bit, so I figured. Can I start the game?
let me try some quickly. See, now everything is finally okay. I got off of Parsec. Allow me to restart it real quick. There we go. Okay, I'm in.
What's your Twitch? Hans?
Perfect. Yes. what your
Exactly
Twitch
like my
was.
gamer tag, Hans IV4.
Can
So
they
you
hear
ready?
me?
Oh, you
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
No, can they hear me?
If I hit the push to talk button, yes. You want to talk to them? All right. Can I start the game?
Oh yeah. You know what?
Let's start the game. All right. I will assume that we are good to go. And basically, here we go.
Alrighty, so what we can expect in terms of bans, we can definitely expect lots of hard breaching bans, utility blocking bans such as Thatcher, Thermite, Habana, Maverick, the likes of that. Lots of emphasis on blocking the hatch play, meaning Maverick is probably a big player in that way. As well as this, we can potentially expect utility bans secondarily, but not necessarily. Yeah, Habana is going to be our first pick. Of course, she is a big hatch player, so what better than to take away the problem right at its root?
Yeah, that is going to be a pretty straightforward ban. Like just going back to what I said about the verticality between the first floor and the basement being basically just the hatches. Hibana is the prime hatch destroyer. The map being pretty big or pretty large is going to make roaming somewhat easy, and roamers absolutely do hate Jackal. So, unsurprisingly
Right.
enough, he will also be taken out of the picture, and I'll just let you take over for the defenders bans.
Yeah, Jekyll is no real big feat to the bans here, along with Echo. Yeah, Echo is not going to be a big feat either. He is a pretty straightforward plant denial and intel operator, so it's a pretty big one that you'd want to take off the board, especially with psychopaths playing them pretty primarily in the last game. So if LOL actually, or XD if you want to nickname them, caught on to that, it'd be a pretty good idea for them to want to take that away. And Valkyrie. Valkyrie's going to be our last ban of this phase. And she is, again, pretty straightforward intel operator, so lots of emphasis on intel is going to be pretty hard for the defense, especially if they want to play characters like, well, Valkyrie and Echo. So their only two, well, straightforward intel operators are going to be Mozzie and Maestro. Of course, those two operators are really good ones at that. So I actually am quite surprised that they didn't ban Maestro over Valkyrie. But of course, that's something that's going through their minds and something that we'd have to pick through at a later date.
I kind of feel like they wanted to ban a plant denial operator, and they had the choice between Maestro and Echo, and they would have chosen Echo. At the end of the day, both of these operators kind of overlap in their roles. They both have intel gadgets that can also perform a plant denial role. So it really was the one or the other here.
So, two things that actually interest me and that these teams missed here. Actually, really quickly before I do that, allow me to mess around with my sound because this is way too loud.
Yeah, I noticed as well. I have increased it a bit on my end.
Okay.
Let's not overshoot here.
Yeah, what I meant to say is two things that interest me. One, Mira, the fact that she was not banned. Of course, Mira is, we've talked about her before. She is a really good operator for really any situation, right? She can take advantage, take control of any type of situation, Bank being absolutely no exception. So the fact that she wasn't banned on Bank of all maps, a map where she could be utilized very easily in lockers, CEO, really any objective you walk into is a big surprise to me. And on top of that, we got a little bit of, well, a little bit of a six-pick going on in the six-pick phase. We saw Kaid picked 2 castles, so of course what this served to was to kind of throw off the attackers in a way where they immediately thought, oh, the defenders are going to be going downstairs playing Kaid, right? But instead they went to CEO, so they did not play downstairs. In fact, they are playing an upstairs hold, which means, well, they don't necessarily need that Kaid, and the 6th pick was perfectly timed, and the Maverick, well, in this sense, will be rendered useless on those hatches.
Very interesting. I had not looked at it this way, but the misinformation or using the operator's pick to kind of suggest where you're going and then 6 picking to invalidate or to actually pick the right composition is something I had never actually studied as a factor or as a part of the meta. And you just gave me homework. This is an absolute interesting part of Rainbow Six, which, well, you kind of taught me here.
Well, I guess you learn something new every day. But
you do.
Doc, obviously learning something, he is going to be keeping a close eye on that Maverick sitting in lobby. He knows where he is. Maverick is going to be taken advantage of by the Maestro. Now, it seems like all of the cards, however, are going to be in the defender's hands, right? They still have up Mira. They still have up Maestro, 2 key players in this round already. They also have up Doc, another good ACOG operator. Wow, just as we say this, it's going to be an engagement between Zofia and Doc. Zofia coming out victorious, putting us to a 4v2 situation with more frags coming out on the attacker's end.
Well, it is not a 2v4 situation, but the 2 remaining defenders absolutely do have the capabilities of bringing this back. Mira behind the black mirror. Well, I don't have to explain how that's a strong position right here. And squad off, Maestro, well, the Alda does have the 80 bullets mag, and those pesky eel eyes could also be preventing the plant of the diffuser should they be at the right time, at the right moment, and given Maestro also has to be safe himself. But that's going to leave us in a 1v3 situation. So, Steve, now does not have the diffuser, sees very little, and for some reason doesn't want to stand behind his black mirror. Sorry. Thus, most of his advantages and most of his positioning is now going to be more or less lost, and that's going to be Psychopaths winning first round with Evil Waffles just flanking behind Mira and getting an easy kill. Like a silver player would have gotten that kill.
Interestingly enough, even with all the cards in the defender's hands, right, they had the element of surprise when picking the objective. They had the operators in their hand, right? They even got early picks when it came to the attack side. So my question is, what happened? What happened to them? Why did they lose out that round? That round could have been a very, very easy round for Cap. I mean, they still had Mira and Maestro up by, well, a minute left. So I'm going to come to question what happened for the defense for them to really just fall apart like that in the attack to take advantage of, I mean, everything. Because, of course, the only thing the attack really completed by the end of the first round was using Thermite to open up the CEO office and get an extra angle into the objective. Other than that, it really just came down to, well, the attack holding angles and being able to play off of that. It's really not rocket science for them. So how was the defense completely lost by the last 30 seconds of the round?
And I don't know if you just pointed out a rhetorical question or if you actually wanted me to chime in on that, but I am a loss just as much as you are. I can't really tell how that situation got turned upside down so quickly. The one thing I could point out is Doc. Doc should have been on the objective or on the balcony at the very least to use the ACOG to its full potential. Rather, he pushed Kush, who was rappelling off of the main window, main facade of the building. And when Doc was rotating, Kush got a free kill that way. Other than that, it really just came down to firefights being lost.
I mean, I guess you could put it down to simple terms like that. You could put it down to strategy, whatever you want to call it. But, of course, a new round is a new round and a new objective at that, as CCTV and lockers are going to be utilized this round to make it a little bit more repetitive, as is. But another interesting thing to note is the fact that Vigil is going to be in play now, and not only that, he's going to be droned out, and he is going to be sitting in CEO office, of all places.
He got droned out once or twice. He absolutely knew the pressure was coming. And yeah, what a roamer such as him wants to do is waste as much time as possible. Maybe even get 1 or 2 kills outnumbered like he was. His death was inevitable, but he really did not achieve what he was hoping out to do. So that's going to be a net negative for LOLXD, who are out their one and only roamer. Squadoff is holding server room stairs, so he could also be wasting a fair chunk of time. It remains to be seen if his mission will be rewarded with success or with failure, as the attackers are definitely closing in on him. A first flashbang is going to come out. He will not be flashed whatsoever, but the first remote gas grenade will be used.
So something interesting that Smoke is doing here is, of course, the shield placement is a little bit off for this strategy, it seems. Normally they put it a little bit farther back in my experience. But of course, I'm not going to comment too much else on that. But yeah, Smoke sitting there, and obviously is going to be a big deterrence towards the attack. They're going to have to deal with them at one point or another. It really comes down to the finesse of the Smoke and being able to use that as smokes in a quick critical manner. More so, but yeah, he does get taken off of the board with about 45 seconds left on the clock, so this puts us to a 3v5 situation. Of course, the attackers have this round in their hands. If they do so wish, they can potentially make an execute, especially with the black mirrors being out of play, and yeah, they just really have the extra edge now that they can go into this with.
Interesting. Stevo kept a black mirror in his inventory to just put on the second reinforced wall once the first got destroyed by a Twitch drone, might I add. So that's quite unfortunate that the 3 defenders, they were more or less in the same spot and they just failed to see the Twitch drone happening. But yeah, so that's going to be a mirror that's going to be replaced pretty quickly. And yeah, that got turned upside down pretty quickly as well.
Okay, while you were commenting on...
Yeah, I missed the action.
Yeah,
I absolutely did.
Yeah, you missed the action a little bit there. So apparently what had happened was... so the Jaeger was able to come around and make some really important kills. First of all, it was the Kaid who was able to kill... Yeah, right there, get the kill on the planter, being the Thermite. Then, of course, he was fragged out, but in response, Kevin, being the Jaeger, got a double kill, putting them to a 2v2, and Kevin, I believe, got another kill along with that, if I'm correct, and
Yeah,
it
he
was
did.
finished off by the Mira with the C4. Yeah, it was really just a cluster of of things happening. Kind of hard to follow, but yeah, as we make that out in the best way that we can. All I can say is that well, good job on both teams, and it's really apparent that it was a clean, amazing comeback from XD.
So, interestingly, wow, with the bulletproof camera in Doc's inventory, every operator has a an Intel-based gadget. Mira maybe less so than the others, but it still allows her to see without being seen. All of Mozzie, Pulse, and Maestro are pretty straightforward as well, and Doc, well, he has the bulletproof camera, so we're going all out on Intel. LOL XD, they were outflanked once or twice last round, or at the first round, should I say, and they definitely do not want that situation to just repeat itself. So they are absolutely adjusting their strategy, and Storms is gonna take the first Evil Eye out of the picture. He also took the intel on Doc's position, but will just not get the kill here, as Storms has just left his position and will be trying to go a bit more closer to the objective, or to put it this way, he'll not be holding an angle for the whole duration of the round. Wow, I'm stuttering. Do you want to take it over?
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let me kind of fix my mic here. Sorry about that. I just saw your comment, but
Don't worry about it.
yeah, Mozzie, however, is going to be sitting in open area. Something quite interesting to be seeing, that Mozzie's going to be sitting below the actual objective. Yeah, peering into the office, a big spot where the attackers like to take control of. A very normal spot where they do appear to be contesting, but of course, this time around they aren't going to be going there, with Pulse and Mozzie holding below. Interestingly enough, there is going to be lots of repelling opportunities for the attack. As well as this, we're going to be seeing lots of skylight play. So, of course, the central strategy is going to be surrounded by, well, really the presence of skylight. So, yeah, Thermite taking the opportunity to peer into the main objective from the, well, the Thermite breach into CEO skylight. This is going to make an extra angle into the objective than previously known before.
Indeed, it will. And speaking of angles on the objective, the attackers seem to be poised to plant the diffuser pretty shortly here, though we don't have smokes in the attackers' composition. With that repel, oh, Storm's no longer repelling. Well, he was in a good position to cut off some rotations. Now Thermite opening up the second wall, and Evil Waffles getting a kill. Bosak is just waiting for the right moment to set foot on the objective. Storm's getting another kill here. Kevin sadly missing his nitro cell. Squad off seems to be the only thing that's in a very say immediate sense that stands between the attackers and the diffuser being planted. So the only thing you could hope for them is for the roamers to come back on objective pretty shortly. Yes, Kevin is out of his nitro cell. He might still play the verticality with his shotgun, but the diffuser is set to be planted with only 9 seconds remaining. Squad off is really gonna receive the pressure, and he will fall. Oh my god, we missed everything.
Yeah, Psychopaths are going to be taking advantage of round number 3, putting another point in their favor. This puts us at a 2-1 scoreline going into the 4th round. Now, something quite interesting to note is the fact that now 2 rounds, it has been that XD has completely well, missed the opportunity to win a round on Executive CEO. Of course, this time around, they're going to be going there again. Their 3rd round to be had in that spot. So they're definitely not taking any chances with going open area or with going archives. So they really in this way are stating we do not want to go here. We do not want to even have the chance of losing on this spot spectacularly. So we're going to keep on trying this one spot. We're going to keep on persisting and we're going to see if it works. Of course, they don't necessarily seem to be changing up their strategy too much. It's really all the same operators, all the same reinforcements, and all the same placements of gadgets. So my question is, what are they switching up this time around? Is it going to be player placement? Is it going to be, you know, time effectiveness? What have they identified as the main factor to their failure and hopefully to identify as their success in the coming round?
I believe the first Evil Eye had been placed elsewhere in the previous rounds, so in the transaction room, and he's reinforcing Kevin here, reinforcing to place the Evil Eye on the reinforced wall. If so, that would also be a, yeah, that's the, so as you said, they are pretty much doing the same thing. The bulletproof cameras here again, the black mirrors are also at the exact same spots. The roaming will be a bit lighter this round, as Squad Off will be remaining on OBJ, leaving us with Bowery being the only roamer there is. But I think that's going to be it. So we're talking more about fine tweaks rather than large overhauls to that strategy.
Yeah, fine tweaks versus large overhauls, I can understand it to an extent, but they might want to I guess, play around with this strategy a little bit more. It definitely seems like it needs a little bit of an update, considering their past performance with it. But our first kill is going to be open up on the first minute of the round. That is going to be Mozzie taken out of the game. He was playing pretty aggressive off of the closet. So, of course, you know, it really was a kill well-deserved for the attack, especially with the Nomad coming into play, being able to set him off and reveal his position.
Bowery here with the runout is going to be able to get the kill off of Storms, who was repelling. That's one pesky attacker less. The angles that you can hold from there are pretty annoying for the defenders. So good news on that front. Plus, well, the roaming game hasn't been flushed out that early into the round compared to what we've seen previously. So far, it does appear to be going pretty well for Lolix. Admittedly, that reinforced wall has been open, but it was to be expected. Eventually, Psychopaths were going to be able to to set foot on the objective.
It's really interesting angle that Kevin, I believe, seems to be holding from the elevator. So he's holding a two-wall cross peek all the way into, I believe, yeah, it's CEO, the wall that's being opened up right now. So if he's able to get a potential kill off of that, that will be monumental for the defense. However, there's going to be a plant going down and a successful one at that. So a 3v4 situation on the diffuser. It's going to be Pulse sitting below. So there still is a lot of opportunities for the defense to get in on this, get a good retake. But it really comes down to how well they're going to do it. That's going to be Nitro Cell 4. Pulse 2v3 situation now. Of course, the Tides are still in the attacking favor with the diffuser down, but we're going to have to see as the round does play out.
Here, the runout will not get the kill. Kush also not getting the kill, but the diffuser is now being destroyed by Steve. Will he be able to He had him in his cross sights. Oh, unfortunate. That's going to be a victory for LOL.
Oh,
he could have gotten the kill.
It was a second too late. The Sophia was able to get to the Mira just in time. Oh, no. That was
so
the Pulse.
close.
It was the Pulse that came in.
Pulse got a kill, kill off of the first floor, and then he went back up, but I think he was dead. It wasn't a 1v2
No, it was the
situation.
Pulse that did it for the team. He got the kill on Thatcher. Thatcher was the only thing directly keeping, directly holding the diffuser. Because of course Nomad was sitting on an off angle. He got refragged by Pulse, and then and then Zofia had to come in. I believe it was Kush. Zofia had to come in and get the final kill, but she wasn't able to because she was also indirectly watching the diffuser. So it was really a lost round by the time that Thatcher was taken off of the board.
So Bowery kind of winning MVP so far. The game is somewhat young still, but he has definitely proven his worth at that current time. We are going to go downstairs again, so we've only seen 2 out of the 4 sites so far. It's going to be somewhat repetitive, but understandable at the same time. LolXT all absolutely want to go on the objectives that are the easiest to defend. So here we are with Mira, and pretty much the same composition, except I think Smoke. Smoke was there last time, and is it Vigil or Motzi that was absent during the
It
previous bottom
was, I
state of
believe it was
defense?
Vigil.
Oh yes, actually.
Okay, yeah, Vigil's an on and off operator by Bowery. He either goes Pulse, Vigil, or I think it's a mixture, but he might have even been on Smoke for one round. I think he really is like the either roaming operator slash flex. He plays kind of different roles in certain situations, but regardless, yeah, of course the Smoke is going to be absent now, so this potentially leaves blue stairs open for the attackers to come in. So of course that gives them more map control. That isn't necessarily a plus for them, but if Bowery could keep it under wraps for the attacking team, they might be able to regain that lost, well, area.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate how aggressive LoLXD's roam game is going to be here. We're absolutely contesting every inch of well, of terrain that psychopaths attempt to take. They will be pulling back, and they don't want to just die for nothing. However, psychopaths cannot just walk into the building itself without facing the barrel of a gun. The Romans didn't get a single kill, and they will be slowly but surely fleshed out, Bowery being the first one to fall. And Squadov also coming back up here. He is on his way to outflank the attackers, but there's somebody on his left side. I'm not exactly sure whose silhouette it was. So his position was known. Ah, unfortunate. He had a nice opportunity here.
He did, but he wasn't able to get out of heaven in the right time, in the correct fashion. So this does leave us with a 3v5 situation. Of course, the attack is still at odds to win out the round if they do so choose to make that good execute. Yeah, 1 minute left in the round, so they do have a lot of time to work with. It just depends on how they're going to take the objective and in what way we're talking. So the Thermite is going to take this opportunity to hit the server room hatch. So the hatch is going to be hit along with this Maverick. Now another hard breaching opportunity being made on the, oh, I think it is the office hatch if I'm correct.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, it really does put a duality, a perspective to the push that normally you wouldn't get from this. So having two hard breaching opportunities is always going to be a plus. Unfortunately, Maverick was taken out just in time, but Sophia is still left. She's going to be putting that extra side to the push that we don't normally see. However, Storms is going to be grabbing a double kill. Psychopaths winning the round in a very, very quick fashion. Wow.
Lava Girl could have gotten the double kill here. Bosak and I think it was Thatcher that was behind him. They were both lines, so the collateral kill could have just happened. That just goes to show how quickly a round or the odds can be turned upside down. That's
definitely
that just so happened to be nicely played by Storms, who got the previous double kill with Twitch. But yeah, all in all, unsurprising. As you pointed out previously, the attackers were at odds of winning, and that's just what happened at the end of the day.
Of course, and even so, that was still a pretty swift execute coming from the attackers, so we have to assume that they had previous intel, that they had previous knowledge of what was going to happen, especially with Storms. Yeah, Storms coming in with an amazing double kill. We unfortunately didn't get to see it, but regardless, it was an outstanding performance from the attack, and of course I would like to see it again.
Here's going to be something new. So we had pondered the composition quite a bit previously. Goyo will be making an appearance. So LoLXD don't have a set composition. They don't have a set strategy. They always try to adapt and to come up with something new rather than just being inflexible and to always doing the same thing. And both approaches do have merit to them. If you go out of your way to craft the best strategy possible, sticking to the plan maybe is the way to go, or probably is the way to go. But LoLXD are definitely having a bit more of a flexible playstyle. Psychopaths also mixing things up with here Dokkaebi, who will be making her first appearance.
Yeah, Dokkaebi, really interesting to see her being played out. Yeah, sorry about that. My parsec actually lagged out, so I had to restart that really quickly.
Wow, that is not a reliable piece of software, if I do say
It
so
really
myself.
is not.
It's
It
unfortunate
just-
because
it
the
eats
service
up your
itself is really
CPU.
good. Yeah. But when it works, you know, it works like a charm, so... Love-hate
does.
relationship.
It
We're gonna have
is.
to figure out something a bit more reliable, but in the meantime, let's make do with what we have.
So something quite interesting that they didn't actually use on Blue Stairs is what we're seeing here is that Goyo shield, his shield was not used at the top of Blue Stairs. You would normally imagine that, especially with him having the ability to do so, that you would use his shield on in that specific instance, especially because the fact that well, his ability causes an AOE that is completely unprecedented to what you would normally see, so I really can't imagine why they wouldn't use it. But of course, they have their own individual reasons, and we'll see it as that. But yeah, walking into this round, about 1:40 left on the clock, all 10 operators are still up, which is definitely a good sign for both teams. And with a 3v2, or sorry, 3-2 score line, this does put actually either teams at odds to win out this next round. We could see a showing from both sides, but we'll leave it up to the last 115, shall we?
Oh, yes. the round can still go either ways. So the obvious Achilles heel that Blue Stairs hold is the bottom floor. So should the attackers be able to take control of servers, they can just run back up the stairs. That was apparently not a Goyo shield in that server room stairs, sorry, after all. As, yeah, the fire could have delayed even more than the remote gas grenades could have. So, yeah, the real question is, will the defenders lose control of the bottom floor? So far, it does not appear to be the case. That shotgun could be absolutely devastating. It will be, but only for a single attacker. Lava Girl being now the only one, and she, I assume, will be getting a nice double kill here. Nicely done. You don't expect the defenders when they just loop. Once again, triple kill. She is going at it. Now with 20 seconds remaining, Storms is the last remaining player on his team. He did not have the diffuser, had to peek, had to go for the kill, but you don't want to be staring down the barrel of that. Alda, it is just such a killing machine. Unfortunate, but nothing really could be done.
Of course, we're going to be put into our next round. This is a role swap round for us, so we're going to be seeing lots of different team compositions. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing lots of different strategies on the board for each team, and ones that may work, ones that may not work, to put this in a general sense. But something interesting to talk about from last round, we obviously saw the 3K coming from Lava Girl there. Oh, yeah, 3K. It was absolutely amazing showing of skill, right? We can
You wouldn't
definitely
expect her
say
to
that.
push like that. Like,
Yeah,
that's, I think, was the surprising factor that got her the 3 kills.
right. Right. You would imagine that they would play a little bit more passive on that, but of course the aggression was awarded with the kills. I mean, it completely unmatched skill in that situation. The awareness to be able to do that was, again, unmatched as well. It really looked like Pangu could have done it, right? Especially sitting on those blue stairs. You would imagine something like that wide swing peak coming from him. But, of course, we see it in even CL qualifiers, so good job on that team for doing that. But yeah, so 3-3 score line. Of course, with the role swap happening, this is something really interesting to see, right? Because, of course, this map is inherently defender-sided. So coming in with a 3-3 scoreline really means that on the defending rounds for Psychopaths, they have a lot more leg room to work with. They have a lot more rounds they can work with. They're really in the hands to win out these rounds, okay? Of course, statistics shows that these rounds will, well, potentially could be won by Psychopaths, so in the case that they do win them, this could be quite an easy showing. And oh my gosh, is that going to be a kill?
I don't see how Storms could survive that encounter, and he will not. He was surrounded, and by every single possible entryway, from the balcony, rappel from the window, the skylight, nothing could be done at that point. And that's going to be a really unfortunate and swift demise for him. We also see Lava Girl sneaking her, once again, I'll just assume the gender here, sneaking around, and obviously by virtue of her gadget, Evil Waffle does not exactly know where she is. So she's waiting for the health presence reduction to just regenerate. Rarely do we see that kind of sneaking around, and I want to see where this leads. I want to see if it works out.
Oh no.
Like, maybe you do see the
Maestro
tip of the
might be
foot.
Maestro might be dumbfounded by this. We don't know. Doc's still sitting in a corner.
Oh, that can
Oh, no.
actually... Pushing forward,
Could it
cloaked,
work?
obviously. Yeah, Maestro's not looking
Could
the right...
it
He's
work?
looking the other way. Oh, he's not peeking, though. He's not peeking. Somebody else is distracting his attention? Or he's just generally being wary of the staircase. But Lava Girl's position is as of yet, unknown. She would be shooting by now, so... That's gonna be advantage of surprise lost, and Evil's Waffle will just act on that intel. He was absolutely surprised. You can see he is really taking care of the garage. He doesn't want to be surprised again, which he absolutely was, though he was swift to recover. So all in all, nice reaction on Evil Waffles' part.
Yeah, but in the same breath, you could say that Knock was definitely at fault there. I mean, she could have walked
Absolutely.
right up to the Maestro and gotten the really easy kill, taking away a very big key player from the defense. But we won't dwell on that too much, seeing as the action is going to be going down. The diffuser's happening. Lots of kills. That looks like a double team kill. What are you doing, psychopaths? Oh no, it's a 1v2 situation. Maestro's the only one up. It's a 1v1 now with low health for the Thermite. He's going to be getting his buddy up, though. Maestro doesn't even notice. He's going to have to reload in this situation, so a 2v1 situation coming in to the last half of this diffuser time. Thermite still at low health, but he's going to take the advantage and win out the round. That is XD getting the round win. Oh my gosh, that was a double TK Nitro Cell.
It was that... That's the kind of thing that you, that's the kind of thing that you don't want to do, because at the end of the day, I think it was a net negative, wasn't it? However, the round really was two-faced. At the beginning, it was somewhat disappointing, like seeing here Jaeger die in an unfortunate way, and he really at that level of play should not have put himself into that situation. The Knock just wasting the opportunity she had gotten, and the Nitro Cell as well. And then the diffuser being planted in such a nice way. Even Waffle almost getting... Well, he got the first kill. The second one, I don't think he could have gotten easily. So the beginning of the round was met with a few easy mistakes. But the second half, that was absolutely beautiful and amazing.
Definitely. All right.
Now, LolXD are taking the lead with the attacking side nonetheless. So yeah, things are looking bright for them.
For sure. Things are definitely looking bright for them. So yeah, 3-4 scoreline. XD does have the lead. And now Mira is going to be used downstairs along with the help of Smoke. So the team composition is going to be flipped around a little bit for Psychopaths. They do seem to be taking on a more meta-pointed strategy.
They
Yeah.
don't want to be surprised again.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson the first time around, but
Knock is going to be absent anyway, so I
Yeah.
don't think a garage push is going to happen. And look at that. Is it going to be an Ash Rush instead? Will we see the double kill? What is that game? We see so many simple mistakes, and then right after that, amazing plays. Wow, what a swift execute. Reinforced wall already opened. Assuming you're able to just take care of the remote gas grenades, the nitro cells, and everything, the diffuser could already be planted. But Steve-O, Bearer, the diffuser, is now going to be biting the dust for the 4 situation, and not even a minute played on the counter.
that is so unfortunate. Maestro is the definition of that impact frag. He's going to be taken out of the round very quickly by the Ash, as long as the... Well, actually, yeah, you know what? As long as the attackers can keep up the pace here, they might be able to get a quick execute and win on the round. Is that going to be Smoke?
He
Taken
does not
out
hear.
of the game. Oh no.
They're not reacting whatsoever. He had to get back in, but could not stand up, and he will be punished for doing so. But Maverick here is really well poised to just get 1 or 2 sneaky kills that the defenders absolutely do not suspect. The diffuser might actually be planted here, as Bosak is down to his last Toxic Babe with just under half of the round remaining. That's looking really good for LOLXD.
However, there is going to be Nitro Cells still in play. Yup, and it is going to take one player off the board. That's going to be Lava Girl and the Twitch. So, fortunately, the bearer of the diffuser is lost, but Ash is still holding above, so that gives an extra angle for the attackers to watch as time goes on.
Attempt 2 is going to be made. Kevin will be flanking. Squad. Nobody is actually covering Bowery, so he was smart enough to just cancel that and to bait it out. But the bait is not going to pay off as he will be biting the dust. Same for Ash. It is now a 1v3 situation, and Psychopaths were able to get that round back. That really did not start too well for them, but they were really good at stopping the attack, dead in its track, and just absorbing LOLXD's momentum.
Wow, that was a round full of,
Bomb located by attackers.
well, regrets, I guess you could say, for both teams. At first, you could definitely say that the attack was poised to win out the round, right? They had already gained a player up from, they had already gained a player up from the defense, right? The Maestro's down, that's an impact frag for them. They had gotten the main wall away from the defenders. That's another big plus for them. They had lots and lots of time to make an execute to secure the objective, but in the end, it really came down to their indecisiveness, right? I mean, they were able to bait out as much as they could, waste as much time the defenders being, but was it really? I mean, it did seem to be enough by the end of the round. Right, they were able to hold angles, they were able to take away as much of the attackers' time as they could, but the attackers, okay, they didn't necessarily have the support they needed. They were kind of just playing all around. It didn't really seem like a teamwork effort. It seemed like they were trying to do their own thing, get to their own objective on their own, and making their own kills their own way. It didn't really seem like they were getting a lot of supporting players with them. If the Ash were to, let's say, go with the Fetcher and play off of his angles and support him and attempting to make the execute, that would have been a very different proceeding, in my perspective.
Yeah, like you said, the attackers, LOLXD, seem to be playing individually and not really together. A simple example of that would be whilst Maverick was opening up the hatch, Ash was just waiting for him to do so, like looking at the opening without seeing anything because the hatch was still mostly intact, rather than actually being pushing another angle or finding another way to outflank the defenders, which she eventually tried to do by going down the main stairs, but at that point it was too late. The momentum was lost, and the defenders had recovered off of the initial shock of being rushed the way they were. So, all in all, unfortunate demise for the attack here, but it does not look as if it's going to happen again, as we're already in a 2-4 situation. The rush, not exactly happening, but definitely aggressive plays being made again by LOLXD.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3-man collateral in the first minute of the game. What are you guys doing? That was a rush and a half with only one person made off of XD by that round. So it is going to be a surrounding effort for the attack. They have a lot of area where they can take control of, but of course, knowing that, the attack is going to have to play a little bit offhand. Oh my gosh, a 2v1 situation with the Jaeger.
He's in front of a mirror. That's not good.
Yeah, he is in front of a mirror, so he's going to have to play. His position is going to have to play very well in the next coming seconds here if he wants to pick up the kills that he needs, but he isn't going to, as the attackers are going to win out the round 9. Steve-O picking up the final kill with that Nomad AK.
Yeah. The LOLXD team has really cranked it up to 11. The aggressivity is through the roof. The push is happening so quick. Like half of the team on either side, be it a success or a failure, the rush happens, and look at the timer here on the replays. 2v4 situation without even a minute being played. That round it worked out for them, but yeah, they really shifted their focus on pushing the objective quickly, and that time it so happened to work out for them.
Wow. I never expected you to say aggressivity. Are you holding in Are you
still have PTSD from that incident,
are
don't you?
you in solidarity with me on that one?
Yeah, but like, what was as aggressivity and what was the other term?
Aggression.
Aggression. Both words are in the English dictionary. Like both terms are correct. Yeah, but they're playing aggro, if you want to put it that way. Nonetheless, LOL XD Team B rushing.
They do. Yeah, they're making really swift plays on the objective. I mean, you love to see it, right?
Oh,
you
we
love to see it,
absolutely
especially with the fact that they're only doing this with like one player and getting so many kills on the other side. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, the aggression coming out from them is top tier, but at the same time, they're still playing calm and collected throughout the rest of the round, right? They're not necessarily letting their emotions get to them and, you know, just saying, screw it, I'm immediately going in, you know, trying to...
It is not.
Yeah.
It is not a heads-down rush. It is really just a swift, tactically calculated, but the calculations are done really quickly, and they do what you'd expect like poised teams to do, just so much faster.
Right, I mean, even look at this. Twitch is making a really crazy entrance into the objective, and without the defense even knowing, it's like they're taking different outlets, you know, those unprecedented outlets into the objective, where the defenders aren't even going to realize that they're there before they're already dead.
Absolutely. However, once again, the pressure is going to be... Oh, what a nice play here. Oh, I thought maybe that frag grenade would get the kill, but yeah, the attack, though it happened pretty quickly, has not been stopped dead in its tracks. You don't really see the attackers making significant progress in the last, say, few dozen seconds. So it is going to be, once again, a slow and methodical push, and we absolutely do have enough time to support such a, say, change of pace, as Kevin and I believe Lava Girl will be repositioning, so we're absolutely going for plan B here. Whatever they were trying previously did not work out. They got a kill, but in and of itself, it's not going to be enough to win the round.
So, something to kind of make a statement on here, right? It seems like Psychopaths is more strategically sound and set, but XD really is they just have more, I guess, gun skill. They have more skill when it comes to reaction time and positioning and, you know, all of those things. They're really just catching Psychopaths off guard with the aggression. I mean, it's completely unmatched and crazy that they're even able to get that far with that. But, you know, even in the last half or the last third of the round, they're able to reel it back and make strategic plays for themselves, which it just speaks volumes about the, you know, adaptability of their team. But kind of commenting, though, on the kills here, it is going to be Ash falling prey to Evil Waffle and potentially a refrag going into mute now with Thatcher attempted to go through all the way main lobby. It is going to take Castle, but gets refragged by Maestro. Maestro getting a beautiful double kill throughout the round. 20 seconds left, so LOLXD is going to have to do something fast. It's a 1v3 situation. Twitch is in the objective. She does not have control of the diffuser, so she's going to have to make something happen out of thin air.
Yeah, with 2 bullets remaining, will you be able to get the 2 kills with a pistol? Seems unlikely. 2 seconds remaining. There is nothing they can do. Boss! Oh my, I believe Maestro was down a split second earlier, and that could actually have been it. We see so many rounds coming down to the wire.
Wow, yeah, all we can say is the fact that Psychopaths just keep coming back and putting themselves back into these rounds. It's a 5v5 already. What are they going to do next? That's the question.
So, For the first half of the round, so for the first half of the game, sorry, when Psychopaths were defending, they did have a slight, but still they did have a lead up until the 6th round and the roll swap, which was 3-3. At that point, we actually saw LOLXC trailing ahead. And now the scores are once again tied, showing us that both teams are able to win rounds both on attack and on defense. Look at that, he pre-fired at head level. Oh, so unfortunate. So unfortunate for them.
Yeah, head level just, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
So there you go. Once again, we're going to be defending the bottom floor, and that overtime situation does seem increasingly likely to me.
It does. It really does. I would not be surprised to see it happen, but who knows? LOLXT might be able to, well, I mean, make a comeback there, and they might be able to cap those few rounds that they just need. I mean, at this point, I'm rooting for the underdogs. These guys are making a showing of
they are.
Psychopaths. They are. They really are. And the fact that their aggression, you know, it's working. That kind of is what is catching me off guard in this. I'm stuttering here. It's what's catching me off guard, because I would have never expected in a million years for, you know, an Ash rush, right, a Sledge rush, for even a Twitch rush to work. But for, for the simple fact that it is absolutely amazing. But it's glorious. It's glorious.
And surprisingly enough, Psychopaths are... It's not that surprising when you think about it. Psychopaths, they're still traumatized about that Lava Girls is sneaking around with Nuck previously. So you could see Kush tossing 2 pests at the garage door, which is going to gain them next to nothing, as obviously nobody's going to be pushing from that angle this time. And Smoke's canisters are already being used up. So the push is once again quick to happen. Another remote gas grenade, and he is out. Attackers now basically have control of all of the building except for the objective itself, but with just under 2 minutes to well, change that, they are not going to be feeling a time pressure anytime soon, and thus a strategic and well-poised attack is going to happen as compared to the aggressive rushes. Rushes or rushs? Rushes?
Rush.
Rush. Okay, so you don't really put it plural. Okay, so compared to the aggressive rush that we've seen previously. Thank you.
Yeah, and the fact is that really to counter the rush scenario coming from LOLXT, it seems like a turtle strat is going to be happening, right? All the defenders are staying at least on the bottom floor, attempting to kind of be close-knit with each other in terms of physical distance. They're attempting to really stay in close proximity of the objective, and it just makes it much easier for the attack to come in and take easier control. We talked about this last round. It's much easier for them to be able to form up on the objective, make it easier execute. But yeah, as I say this, though, there's going to be lots and lots of kills going on the board. 3v2 situation already, and with the diffuser being planted, that's going to put Lava Girl and Bowery at a really hard situation. They have very low health, so they're going to have to play off of passive angles.
And it seems to be working. Bowery will be pushed shortly, I believe. Bosak does not exactly expect pressure to come from there. He gets a swift little flick shot here. Now, a 1v2 situation. Everybody's lit. She turns around when she should not have.
No!
And that is going to be match point. That's going to be match point.
Match point for Psychopaths. They need one more round to finish us off. And one more round for them means one more round for me, because I have to eat.
Looking at the clock, I don't think I'll be doing a third game myself, as
yeah,
I mean, school and all. We're not on the verge of the Christmas break like during the CL quals, or the invitational quals, which allow me to stay up a bit later. But to be honest, I think this is one of my favorite games I've casted in a long time. Like, I could not for the life of me predict what's gonna happen next. Even within like 15 seconds, the situation can be turned inside out so quickly. I absolutely love this game.
Yeah, you would never expect Bank to be one of those maps where you just get that strong showing of talent, of raw gun skill, of just amazing teamwork, chemistry, strategy, whatever you want to call it. It's just back and forth is what you can sum it up in.
And yet, here we are. For the anecdotes, up until this very round, we've never been anywhere else than CEO and CCTV. So, well, I do hope Psychopaths know what they're doing. I do hope they know how to defend this. But LolXD definitely have not, let's say, seen their strategies on tellers and on archives. At the same time, it's the first time that the defenses won 2 rounds in a row.
You could
So
say
here we are.
that they're saving the strats, but you didn't hear it from me.
One thing I do want to point out is we're going for the open concept. So next to nothing, actually only this wall, directly on the... Oh, sorry, I do have hiccups. Is going to be reinforced directly on the objective. So it does seem to me as if we're going to be roaming or holding long angles, but it definitely does not look like your run-of-the-mill turtle strat.
No, it really doesn't. So, of course, they have the extended area of said turtle strat, right? So they can hold, you know, more area than they normally would, kind of give themselves a little bit of leg room. But with more area to hold comes more area that you have to truly defend and more outlets for the attackers to get in. So it comes with a double-edged sword when you do attempt to make more area for yourselves. But
It is.
hopefully they'll be able to hold it with good fashion.
So we do have here the pressure that's going to be coming pretty quickly, as obviously the attackers don't have to go that far to see the first defenders, since they're spread out that much. Quick little parenthesis, since no action is happening right now. People are pointing out LolXD's previous performances, which we were unaware of since it's the last time we're casting them. Apparently, they have a really good track record so far, and their performances absolutely do back that claim up. So us referring to them as underdogs in the previous round apparently doesn't hold too much weight in that instance. So I think I'd like to retract what we said previously. LolXD definitely do know what they're doing. Back to the game.
Yeah, and of course, we don't necessarily get the time and the opportunity to look at their stats. So, yeah, it's, for us, going into this, they are the underdogs because we haven't seen them. We really haven't casted them before, but, yeah, again, back to the game. So, 4v4 situation already, opening up with the last minute of the round. So, again, much back and forth from these teams. Psychopaths might be able to finish it up in this round. We'll have to see. Of course, time is ticking, so an execute is going to have to be made very, very soon if LolXD wants to win out the round to keep themselves in this game, simply put.
So yeah, the big question is, will that round result in Psychopath's victory, or is it going to be kicked in overtime? Steve is absolutely going to try to play the diffuser, but Bosak will get a kill before being put down himself. That was almost a team kill, and now Lava Girl on a 1v2 effectively situation that can be brought back up to a 1v3 should Bosak be revived, but with only 13 seconds remaining. She wanted to plant, but hit the F key a bit too early. Had no choice but to go for the kill, and Twist was absolutely ready for this. Psychopaths winning the game.
That is going to be an amazing game. Shut down.
Was.
By Psychopaths. So I guess we can say that, well, LolXD, they were the underdogs in this game. I guess they were. I mean, who knows? Well, whatever opinion you have on them, whatever, well, performance you saw them seeing through this game, it was, well, to put it lightly, an amazing performance. I can't expect too much more from these teams. Of course, with the last few rounds, they were wavering a little bit there, but regardless, Psychopaths and LolXD, they have similar, you know, they're very balanced teams. They have similar performance when it comes to strategy and, you know, gun skill. They kind of weigh each other out, but in the end, especially on Bank, it just came that, you know, strategy-minded teams come on top.
So the one thing I would like to say, speaking personally here, Psychopaths, though they've won the game, I believe, referring to myself here, that Lol XD has just won another fan or a new fan, and I absolutely do want to see more of their games. That was an amazing performances coming from either of those teams.
Definitely.
But that is going to be it for me tonight, as I do have things tomorrow in the morning. So thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will be on, or I absolutely hope so. We'll be on tomorrow, same time, same channel, obviously. So yeah. I might be wrapping this up pretty quickly and grossly cutting corners here. Do you want to add something else before I just make a fool of myself? Like analyzing, analyzing the actual game before just cutting this off.
Well, somebody said in the chat, every round is really a back and forth, right? Every round is either a clutch or like some type of showing of
clutch.
skill.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I loved watching every second of Bank. Bank is, again, we've said this, Bank is normally not a map that we cast, but I would cast Bank again if those two teams were on it, of course. It was
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't expect any more from those teams. It was I don't know, I'm just kind of going back and forth, but
we are at a loss.
Yeah, we are at a loss, but regardless, GG to both teams. They played their hearts out and they had a really absolutely amazing game for themselves. So
if I was to just take a look real quick at the rankings, obviously, for those of you guys who don't know how this exactly works, I've seen a few different questions pop up in chat. First of all, the prize or the incentive for participating is obviously a spot in the North American Challenger League, which is, well, let's say the first step to becoming an actual pro. And there are 9 levels, or 9 rounds here. It is in a round-robin format. Once you lose 3 times, you're out. So far, no matter which team we're referring to, since we've only played 2 levels, everybody is still in the game. Just quickly glancing at the better-known teams, PogChamps have won their second game 7-0. Katsu 3, I thought it was Katsu 2 last week. Katsu 3 7-5. They've also won. Okami, Rat Pack, both teams have won against names that I cannot exactly that don't ring a bell. So I'm assuming these are like new names that they were easily able to overpower. XG 2.0 also winning. Powerhouse 7-0. So I would say this was pretty much the say expected outcome for nearly all of the games where a team that does ring a bell is in the match.
Definitely. Well, on that note, would you like to say farewell to the viewers? Because I am very hungry.
Yeah, sure. Just go ahead and I will just make sure of taking this over. So thank you everybody for being here. Why is this? I think I know why the transition isn't that right. I'll have to take a look at that. This is so weird. Thank you everybody for being here. Psychopaths winning the 2 maps that we've casted them on. So assuming that my community does enjoy seeing the PKP team, they will be glad with the outcome. And obviously, that last match could have gone either way. Really, it was such a nice game. I think I'll be saving this to a special folder on my hard drive. Nonetheless, thank you everybody for being here. We will not be casting a 3rd game, as we do have to get up early in the morning tomorrow. But we will be on tomorrow, absolutely 100%. So thank you all for being here, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. All right. Take care, guys, and see you all tomorrow.
Bye.